So it was a great year for new business in Grandview.
So it's the daily interactions, it's the officers stopping into a new business to say hi.
Anything we can do to engage the fire department with the public, we're trying to do.
We really are leaders in connectability and walkability.
We exceeded our revenue projections, and then we underspent.
I mean, us being able to have balanced budgets, that's work.
Grandview is building tomorrow's community through strategic planning, citizen engagement, and financial tenacity. In 2017, Grandview earned its highest assessed valuations ever at $287 million and the second highest sales tax revenues on record, thanks to a booming Truman's Marketplace.
We had several small tenant finish build-outs. We had Vintage Stock come in, was a store. We had a freestanding Hardee's restaurant. So probably 85% of Truman's Marketplace is now built out and occupied by tenants.
The Grandview Finance Department executed more innovative cost savings tactics by communicating with city departments and hitting the market at the right time.
We got the lowest interest rate in our books for decades. The amount of money that we're going to be owing to the financial markets will yield significantly less interest. That means that amount of money is going to stay in cities' coffers.
This fiscal responsibility is being recognized across the metro and internationally. For 29 consecutive years, the Government Finance Officers Association, or GFOA, has awarded the City of Grandview for excellence in financial reporting.
GFOA asked us to be a part of Sustainable Cities pilot program. They believe that we're doing a very good job with our finances, and there were very few cities who are asked to participate.
Also noticing a recent trend of nearly spot-on revenue forecasting, GFOA turned to the City of Grandview Finance Department to deliver another high honor and ask for input.
GFOA awarded us and mentioned us in one of their books as the highly accurate forecasters nationwide. So we were in the top 10. Not only we are commended for our work, but at the same time, some of our practices is becoming benchmarks.
The Kansas City metro area is also taking notice. Kansas City Business Journal awarded one of its highest honors to Finance Director Jamal Gungor, naming him a 2017 CFO of the Year winner for executing new ideas to grow city revenue and creating a cost savings culture.
The Finance Department looks at every issue, every contract as a unique opportunity. This being a $10 million a bond project to a $100,000 purchase. Everybody in the office looks at contracts differently. The thought behind it is to ask the question of, is this the best deal we can get for our citizens?
Many city departments are working to maximize taxpayer money through grants. Grandview Police Department secured more than $500,000 in grants for everything from bulletproof vests, traffic safety, and community engagement. Chief Charles Eisman is most proud of the Department of Justice Award. The grant pays for a full-time detective to work domestic violence cases.
Our hope is that we can provide a higher level of service to the families of Grandview. Domestic violence is devastating to the family, and we're hoping to be able to break the cycle of violence through having a dedicated detective.
More than $1 million in grant money made 2 public works projects possible in 2017, the new Presidential Trail and 155th Street improvements.
We're standing on the Presidential Trail just east of Raytown Road. You can hear the beeper for our rapid flash indicator, which helps folks when they cross Raytown Road. This trail extends from the Longview Lake Trail, which is just on the other side of the street, all the way to the Truman Farm Home. It extends along Harry Truman Drive and then Blue Ridge. It's 2.5 miles, one of the longer trails we have in the city. An important facet of this trail, not only its connection to Longview Lake Trail is that we built a mile and a half of brand new trail sidewalk along Harry Truman Drive, which is one of our major streets in town that didn't have sidewalks. We opened up our sidewalk system and a walk to Truman Marketplace or to the lake from the subdivisions all along Harry Truman Drive. In the Kansas City area, we probably have more miles of sidewalk and trail in relationship to the miles of street we have than any other community.
In addition to grants, Public Works also shared the cost with Belton to widen and improve 155th Street.
Actually from Kentucky all the way to the I-49 frontage road. The thing we were looking for most was the widening of the roadway from Shalimar Park back down towards the new interchange at I-49 to 3 lanes. This provides some really nice access to the currently rejuvenated ball fields.
Those newly rejuvenated ball fields are at Shalimar Park. City leaders broke ground on the project this past summer. The Parks and Rec project was approved as part of the 2014 no tax increase bond issue. And this spring, more than 160 kids are expected to hit the fields and swing for the fences.
We are also working with Belton and Raymore to build a regional tournament facility here. And our hope is that we utilize the facility throughout the year during the weekends when our youth programming is not in full swing.
$2 million on Shalimar, 4.5 out here, 7 on the interchange at I-49. So we've invested this year $13 million. And I think it was money well spent, a lot of it federal money, which is even better. Really builds up our sports complex. It's a nice view, I think, for people coming into the city, and this is the way they'll see Grandview in the future, which is always an important part.
Businesses see there's something special happening here in Grandview. Construction brokers relocated here from Kansas City, Missouri, and Pods finished its second expansion.
Another business that's really been kind of a blessing to the city has been a company called Stonebridge Collective. And what they do is they build high-end outdoor spaces for residential customers. Dollar General is kind of in a different phase with their business model. They came to us a couple of years ago and they talked about putting a couple of new stores in Grandview.
In South Point Business Park is the new 200,000 square foot Dayton Freight. The warehouse trucking terminal is expected to open for business very soon.
By far the largest construction project we had in the city in 2017.
In a proactive move to appeal to employees at nearby Cerner and Honeywell, as well as developers, Grandview invested in a housing study.
To send a message very loud and very clear to the rest of the world that Grandview is in fact open for business. You can't have Cerner in your front door and not talk about housing. 15,000 residents. Grandview intends to capture some of those residents, not to mention the fact that we have the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, in the city of Grandview. Let's not even talk about all the industrial development that's taking place in the city. All of these elements coming together to create a dynamic city.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Because there's power in numbers, the Grandview Chamber of Commerce works with other area chambers as part of the Jackson County Public Policy Council. Last year, the chamber learned more about how to give Grandview businesses a voice outside of Kansas City.
And we hosted for the first time ever a U.S. Chamber federal legislative issues briefing here locally. Had a very good briefing from U.S. Chamber staff and just learned a lot about what's happening in D.C., how it impacts our businesses, and how we as local chambers can be that conduit to our capital.
Grandview is also getting smarter. The city updated many city services using current technology. People can now apply for jobs with the city or even file police reports from the comfort of their own home or while on the go.
It's just another way for us to be efficient because as our officers' time is freed up, they can be more proactive and less reactive.
I'm Mike Maruza. I was following breaking news. Explosions in Grandview.
When disaster strikes, Grandview Fire and Police Departments move in. They successfully handled a series of huge explosions at a Grandview business in January. The booms shook the Southland, causing evacuations, extensive damages, and led to a federal investigation. Grandview Fire Department's quick response ensured everyone's safety.
It was kind of good timing. The mayor gave us the assignment to get the emergency operation plan updated. It is updated.
After more than a decade with no natural disasters, our luck ran out. In March, severe storms blew through Grandview. Straight-line winds ripped down power lines and utility poles, even tore off roofs. City departments worked quickly to complete damage assessments and get out important information to homeowners.
We had about 330 residential roof permits, and we had several of the larger businesses in town that had to replace their roofs on their commercial or industrial structures. So we had several $1 million worth of roof improvements as a result of that weather event in March.
The rising Little Blue River damaged several homes in the area there. The Now's Ray Daniel is in Grandview with a look at the damage.
Then in July and August, the skies dumped inches of rain in just hours over the same area of Grandview, Marywood Circle. In less than a month, high waters flooded basements and living rooms in nearly 3 dozen residences, mostly duplexes. Both times, the city had to respond quickly.
And again, the teams come together to support their community, getting some help in them to help on their mitigation of the disaster from the flooding. The Red Cross setting up avenues to give them some support, some funding, and working with the building department and public works and emergency management. Again, everybody come together, the police department, everybody there for the city, for that neighborhood.
Volunteers from Southern Baptist Disaster Relief rushed in to help. Volunteers tore out wet drywall and carpet while offering comfort to flood victims. The rushing waters also flooded city properties like River Oaks Park and Tails and Trails Dog Park. The parks were easily fixed, but a culvert on Raytown Road just couldn't handle the rain.
So much so that we have to build something new there. And that is a $2 to $3 million job that we don't have money for. Again, what we're hoping is that this spring we'll be able to get that much money out of the federal pot.
Probably affected, several thousand residents in the city and millions of dollars of damages.
Working for and with the community is a goal for every city department. Whether it's community development's Pets Helping People or Public Works Touch the Trucks, every Grandview staff member knows the importance of serving Grandview.
We have over 80,000 people attending the Valley Park, and we also have over 115,000 people that come to the View, whether they're members or facility rentals.
Who are we?
I'm most proud of the continued engagement that the officers have with the community, and whether they're going to schools or churches or neighborhood groups. And what's special is we don't have a dedicated unit to do this, so these officers are doing it while they're doing all their other duties, so they're getting pulled a lot of different directions. So part of our community engagement is that we have our full complement of 3 SROs, 2 of which are new this year. So we have an SRO at the high school, the middle school, and then the alternative school. Daily, these students are interacting with our police officers in a positive manner.
And we're a busy department. We run a lot of calls, do a lot of training, but they continually are doing coat drives, they're doing food drives. Every Thursday they're still going to the elementary schools and doing lunch buddy program. We're doing volunteer reading with the 4th graders.
4th graders at Grandview schools also got a chance to show just how much they know about fire safety in a poster contest. Grandview Fire Department asked Grandview Arts Council to judge, and the winner from each school got a ride to remember.
Bringing fire prevention back into the schools. It's kind of, over the years, has gone away. And it's just one thing to bring the kids back into thinking fire and life safety.
Students and teachers in the Grandview School District ended 2017 with many academic successes and a coveted regional award.
Ended last school year on a high note with an increase in graduation rate, an increase in our ACT score, but we couldn't have asked for anything better in 2017 thus far for this school year.
The exhibit we're going to build at Science City goes to the big room.
nothing's bigger than being on the front page of the Kansas City Star showing our kids winning the Battle of the Brains competition. Our focus program, which represents all of our elementary schools, winning and beating out a bunch of other schools in KC, and I'm telling you, there was a lot of people there that had no idea little Grandview was going to be able to do something like that. And our kids are going to remember that forever.
Some of the biggest city accomplishments of 2017 are only possible thanks to you, the Grandview residents. In August, voters renewed another 10 years of the capital improvement sales tax. This money will be used for technology, equipment, vehicles, and other capital upgrades, like a second set of bunker gear for firefighters to help prevent cancer.
What that does, it gives each firefighter now where they can have an extra set that they can keep clean all the time. So when they get back from a fire, they can throw those in a special wash machine, get them clean, and not have to wait for them to get done. They'll have another clean set to put on. So that's huge. That's a big deal.
And in November, Grandview became one of the few Missouri cities to pass a local use tax on its first try, a testament to the progress citizens see and the trust they have in city leaders.
I think we were the first kind of organization to back each of those publicly and get the community behind them and say, this is important, what needs to be done to move our community forward.
If you like what you see, we're not done yet. Grandview's story is just beginning.
Look at the tower and the truss up on Main Street and trailhead feature down on 150 Highway, and people will remember Grandview more and think of it as a cool place and someplace they'd want to come to in the future and live.